Ministry of Information, you tell us the particular people who are not supposed to be reported on in this country. You say if you write about this one, you write about Sewungu, you write about Chris Barrio Monsi or anybody, that is a breach of minimum standards of media houses. That will solve problems. Because we know, Mr. Speaker, the president stopped the national media houses from covering them. But remember, most of you government officials, most of you go to Aga Khan hospitals in Kenya, and there's still national media house running those hospitals. So as you continue harassing them, you must be very careful about them as you get to their other services. So if you know that Sewungu, particular person, once is reported on by national media house, that is a breach of his duty of conduct, and it's going out below the minimum standards. It will solve problems. I am missing a national media house here, NTV here. I want them to cover me. Not because I'm very ugly, but because I'm speaking sense. So if you continue getting that slow but sure dose, Mr. Speaker, picking Sewungu, you wrote about him, because in news, when I bite a dog, it makes news. But if a dog bites me, it doesn't make news. That's what happens with the social media houses. You are blocking them this side, but other media houses are giving the same stories. And the fact, imagine my mother at 73 is complaining about NTV. The priests are asking us about the same. You were Catholic as well. The Muslims are asking about the same. Everybody. And the answer is, Mr. Speaker, come to us, members of parliament. What have you done? Mr. Speaker, it is your chair there to solve this halabaloo. This challenge.
No, but I think it is two-way, Honorable Sewungu. I read a statement from national media yesterday. It wasn't also helpful. Because they said they are unstoppable. Okay? And they said they are unstoppable. They said they are doing whatever they want to do. So if you're able to operate, accessing what you want to access, why are you insisting that you want to be here? You are unstoppable. So I think we need restraint from both sides. It can't be just one way. You have a situation, but you want to come out, you're very instructive, you are attacking individuals, it's not helpful. Whenever, to me as a person who believes in peace and talking to each other, that's not how you talk to each other when you have a situation. I think what nation needs to do, it needs to engage. We have many media houses that have engaged, and they are doing their work freely. To me, that's what I would think, but I don't know. It's up to whoever is operating the way they are operating.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And since I have your number, you also have mine, I beg to share that kind of statement. Otherwise, we shall also talk to them. Because even me here, you are going to stop me from talking. And that's the practice in the parliament. But otherwise, Minister of Information, take my words very seriously. A slow but sure dose will also affect you. Will affect me and it's affecting everybody. Pick those people. Say, once you write about this one, you shall close you down.
I don't know what you were clarifying or what, but I think there is no crisis. And like the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker guided, like I said, he has information, there's an investigation going on. Let's wait for the results. And it's true, like he said, any TV or any other media house is free to tap content from UBC. So there is nothing which stops any TV or any media houses from getting content from the national broadcaster. But really for emphasis that the media is regulated in Uganda, we should not debate as if the media has free range to do anything it wants. Not that there are even radios we have suspended and put off, especially in this electoral season when they become irresponsible. So, Honorable Sewungu, your threats notwithstanding that we shall get affected, I think you should allow the state and the government to regulate the media so that we have responsible media in Uganda. Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for taking this question for clarification. We acknowledge that the government regulates, and where there is a violation, I think it's prudent for the government also to be honest and transparent in whatever they are doing. If there is any breach of the minimum broadcasting standards, we ought to know. If I'm accused of murder and I'm being investigated for murder, they will tell you we are investigating so and so for a case of murder that has been committed in this area. So can you inform us? Can you now clarify which particular minimum broadcasting standard was violated by the Nation Media Group? And if amongst the sanctions available to you, which was passed in law, it's a blackout from Parliament, why would you allow them to continue doing other coverage, and then you single out only Parliament, which is the epicenter of governance of this country, and you say we are banning them? Would you clarify particularly which minimum broadcasting standard and your choice of sanction?
When a matter is under investigation, as you know, as a trained lawyer, we minimize the debate in the public until when the report has come out. So I just ask you to be patient, and then the report will come out.
Thank you, Honorable Mricha.
Thank you so much, Director, Honorable Speaker, and Honorable colleagues. Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for your great concern over the issues of baboons. Director, Honorable Speaker, this is not an isolated case. All those communities that border wildlife face the same challenges. Especially in Ntoroko, we have the Semiliki Game Reserve that was elevated to Semiliki National Park. In Kanara Town Council, Right Honorable Speaker, if you go there personally, you'd find we have a number of cases where children were snatched by these baboons, injured. Parents go ahead and pay foot medical bills. After footing medical bills, you find that there's no compensation. Because Kanara Town Council and Semiliki Game Reserve, they just separated by the road. Baboons cross at any time of the day into homesteads. At the end of the day, they cause a lot of injuries. And I want really to move with your guidance, investigations throughout the country, especially to the communities that border wildlife, and a proper action is taken, and those people, especially the injured children, should be compensated. I want to thank you, Right Honorable.
Yeah, thank you. Colleagues, on that issue of wildlife, if the minister comes here with a statement on Wednesday, I think we'll discuss more. I will allow debate on the statement. Okay. Honorable Wanda Richard.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I take this opportunity to congratulate you upon being nominated unopposed. And it's our prayer that we join you soon. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for your concern and the fact that you've asked the minister to come up with a statement regarding the issues of the wildlife-human conflict. As stated, Right Honorable Speaker, this is not isolated. This is the case for baboons. There are cases for elephants in the northern part of the country, hippos, and I think there is some laxity somewhere, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to request that a comprehensive, you said you requested for a statement, but I think we need a proactive action plan. We have the wildlife-human conflict, but we also have the staff of Wildlife Authority also harassing communities in the Elgon region. About the boundaries, sometimes lives are lost, they shoot. They destroy property, including buildings and crops. So, Right Honorable Speaker, it is my prayer that while the minister makes a statement here, he also needs to come up with an action plan on how to address all these challenges that are coming from the wildlife management. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, let's take it from the Honorable Masaba had wanted us that they include the list of the people compensated. So we will do that. Let the minister give a comprehensive statement. Then we debate it. Colleagues, please, let's debate a comprehensive statement which we need from the minister on Wednesday. It will be more helpful. Okay, because this is county information. The minister is not here, so let's do it that way. Matters of national importance. Honorable Sir Kenya. Honorable, here we speak on a microphone.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I can see the problem of campaigns. Honorable, you're still a member of Parliament, okay? Yeah, please.
Honorable Speaker, I'm still a member of Parliament and I am coming back because all the runners never came back, a sign that I performed well.
So grab the microphone.
And by the grace of God, I'm coming back.
Great.
So, Honorable Speaker, we have a challenge in Busabala. After constructing that road, we got a lot of land grabbers. I remember you gave me a chance on the floor of the Parliament whereby you ruled out that the Minister of Lands should go there. Indeed, she came and chaired a meeting, and those who claim to be the owners of the land never came in that meeting. It's so unfortunate that yesterday, late in the evening, bouncers came, heavily guarded, and they surveyed the land. And I asked the LOC one, they said they know nothing, yet they are the main stewards of the properties. Honorable Speaker, this is the land which has around 300 families, and they could crash and we could lose lives. My humble prayer for the Minister for Lands to come and give us a comprehensive report on the findings that she got so that we can be updated and we brief our people. Because coming to survey the land, it could cause chaos and we could lose lives. I'll be grateful when this matter is taken seriously. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, Honorable colleague, this is not a matter where the minister will need to come back here, but rather to engage the parties that are involved. Okay? Let's focus more on action. So I will request that clerk, you write to the minister for lands to again visit the area, engage the parties. Because how can someone refuse to come and appear before the minister in charge when there is a conflict? Then it means there is a problem somewhere. Maybe they are, either it's impunity or they are trying to hide something. Yeah, so we are going to take it up at that level, and I'm going to ensure that the minister comes in next week, Honorable Korik, to handle the issues of your people. Honorable Namutawe Joan.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, on Tuesday this week, the Electoral Commission shipped into Uganda 600 6,000 biometric vote verification kits to be used in the coming elections. However, Right Honorable Speaker, we have heard from government that the use of these machines will be compulsory, yet there is no enabling law. So, Right Honorable Speaker, can we know from government exactly which law will enforce this? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable colleague. This is a matter which was raised on Tuesday, and the Minister for Justice, who is in charge of Electoral Commission, was given 2 weeks' time to bring a comprehensive statement, and he will address your concern when that statement comes, and then we shall discuss it further on the floor. Honorable Mutemburi Yusuf. Honorable Acrobat Chiza.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, I join colleagues to congratulate you upon going through unopposed, and once I come back, I want to assure you, you have my vote in that seat.
I hope Honorable Jonathan Odura is high.
Yeah, thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on an issue regarding the poor roads, the poor state of the roads in Bundibujo as a result of too much rains. Right Honorable Speaker, since July to date, Bundibujo is experiencing heavy rains, and we have lost so many bridges and culverts. As I talk now, Right Honorable, 6 administrative units are cut off, including the sub-county where I come from. I leave a vehicle in Bundibujo town and board the border. So my prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, to the Minister of Finance and Minister of Works and Transport, that at least they could send a team, a technical team on the ground and assess the impact. Secondly, Right Honorable, if we could get some gabions and some culverts for a short-term intervention as we wait for the long term. Finally, Right Honorable, Bundibujo being with one road, that tarmac road that connects Bundibujo, we need an alternative road through my constituency, and this road should be tarmacked. And that is a permanent solution for that area. I thank you.
So once we tarmac yours, we shall have permanently sort of the progress. I like that. Honorable Minister for Works.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I think yesterday I informed you that because of the importance of the Fort Portal Bundibujo Road, and it's the only main trunk road which they have up to Lamia, we have decided to put Quadro C on that road. And they do everything. It's not only maintenance, they're going to do rehabilitation of the bad sections, but also fix whatever breaks down. So the contract is already on the ground, and they'll keep maintaining that road throughout.
But Honorable, the member says, if you don't tarmac his, you won't have a permanent solution. But also the rural ones, which has said 6 administrative units, I don't know whether there is any intervention you can do.
Well, I know about the road through his constituency. It was one of those security roads which we are supposed to work on. But again, I think because of funds, we have not yet been able to address it as an alternative road to Bundibujo. But I know the road. It's called, we used to call it the security road. It goes through his constituency. Yeah.
So, Honorable Acrobat, I would guide that you write to the minister, okay, stating clearly the administrative units are affected and all that.
Much obliged, Mr. Speaker, but the issue of gabions and culverts
all
for
that.
a short term.
All that.
Thank you.
All that. Thank you. Yeah. Honorable Emma Cherkut, then Honorable Watkins.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to join my colleagues to congratulate you for having gone unopposed. So the race is still in our hands, and we pray for the best for all of us. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on an issue which happened yesterday night in Kwen District at 1 p.m. We happened to have a very heavy downpour, and it is well known that Sebei, particularly Kwen, is a very mountainous area. So what happened is, out of the heavy rains, there was a serious landslide, and as a result, 6 people lost their lives, and 3 of them are lying in Kapchoro Hospital for treatment, The 6 bodies are also in Kapchora mortuary, though it's unfortunate that in Kapchora Hospital, which is supposed to be our regional hospital, we don't have a fridge to keep them so that the families can prepare for a decent burial. I am here on their feet and grieving with them that may the office of the Prime Minister, it's good my sister, the Minister, Abe Lilian, is right with us here. If your office could come in and bail our people in as far as maybe provide them some money for burial expenses. And then, of course, there were so many families that were affected as a result of this landslide that need to be relocated. Most of their crops were destroyed. They were washed down. So, as we speak, people, very many, almost 320 people don't have food. They are there languishing and grieving. And on that note also, when you come to the lower belt, that is soil. Of course, I'm speaking as a district woman MP. As a result of the same rain, the rain was washed from up, rain from up, downwards, reaching down. It carried so many cows, pigs, goats, hens of our people in the lower belt. But I want to put it to you that there's a report that is coming or that is being availed to us by the disaster management report, management group from the district. So my prayers are, one,
I thought you did your prayers.
Those were 2. It is just that the team from Prime Minister to at least step down to see how best our people from Kwen, that is Tuikat, Chepkutus Parish, Kaptang Village, how best they can be helped. There are, of course, expenses for the mortuaries that these people cannot avail. Since the 6 people were from one family. So that's my plea, my dear sister. Asante. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable, our condolences, heartfelt condolences. And colleagues, as a practice, please, I request that we observe a minute of silence since our colleague has brought this disaster to our attention.
May their souls rest in eternal peace.
So, Honorable Chemonges, I have you on my list. The issue related, then the minister can answer at once. If it's related.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. My colleague, Honorable Emma, have said most of it, but I just want to add on that the same issue also went to the extent of Bukwa. Bukwa lost 3 people, and the main road was cut off. Up to now, we are still struggling to open the way. Mr. Speaker, this matter of landslide in Sabey has been happening all the time, whenever it is rainy season. And even as we speak now, we expect that today evening there may be another landslide, because even now it is raining. So, Mr. Speaker, to add on my prayers, one of the prayer that I can add on is that the government should look into this matter in totality, especially hurrying on with the resettling the people who are on disaster-prone areas. We've always presented this matter. The team from the Ministry of Prime Minister's office have always come. They take pictures. They take the lists. They do everything, but they don't come back. So I am happy that today, at least, we have our very brilliant minister. I'm sure I can see her with a lot of notes. She must be able to give us the... I take it.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. No, not from a member. He's not responsible for your... You see, we are not debating or what. Man is having disaster issues. I want him to clarify even.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. It is true, Right Honourable Speaker, that we have lost 6 people in Kwen and 3 people from Bukwo, and about 2,250 people have been affected. Right Honourable Speaker, this morning I had a meeting with Honourable William Chemonges and Malinga Isaac, who came and we had a meeting together with the Commissioner for Disaster, and we have taken steps. The first step we took is to instruct the team from Red Cross. As you're aware, government funds Red Cross to provide non-food items and support with emergency response in this country. And as I speak to you, the team from Red Cross, some are already on ground. I also dispatched a team under NECOC to go and support the rescue mechanism on ground. But we have also allocated 10 tons of maize, 10 tons of beans, 100 pieces of taplings, and others we are still mobilizing to support, mainly the emergency response, providing temporary shelter and ensure that our people who are there are supported. But Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to say this. I want to request the leaders to join me in sending this message out, that the communities who are in these areas that we have mapped out as the risky areas, let them evacuate, because the rain is heavy, and if we speak the same message, it will help in saving lives. However, the resettlement program is ongoing. We are completing the procurement process of the land, where we are supposed to resettle some of those people who are mapped out in the risky areas, and they will soon be resettled. Pertaining the families of those who lost their loved ones, the President will contribute, as usual, the 5 million to support the burial expenditure and also support those who are injured. I thank you.
So, yeah, but Honourable Lilian, and I really want to thank you for being proactive and moving in quickly. The only part, I think, is on the evacuation, where they should leave the place. And now when people hear that you're still procuring land and all that, I think they need to be advised further on where they can be temporarily, whether it's within relatives or you have certain temporary shelters. If you could guide us on that.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. What we have been discussing with the disaster committee on ground and with some of the leaders is that they suggested that we can have one of the church as a holding ground, but those people will be transported to the camp, which is in Bulambuli, because establishing 2 camps is a bit costly and will not help us with the emergency response now.
So I want to ask the leaders from Sebei to support the minister in this effort, because we don't want to be coming here talking about people who are...
And Right Honourable, we have a meeting at 10 a.m. They are aware. We have sent information. They're supposed to join us with Red Cross and other partners to plan better.
Thank you. Honourable Watkins? No one on the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I raised to bring to the attention of the nation, and specifically government, in regard to the high cancer rates in Kasese, and then the high mortality rates in Kasese. Mr. Speaker, sir, the last 6 months, God forbid, every woman, expecting woman, that walks in a hospital, 2 things have to happen in Kasese. One, either a child does not get the opportunity to leave, or the mother does not survive the last 6 months. But I also know, Mr. Speaker, that I came to this parliament and I raised it on the floor, Mr. Speaker, in regard to the high cancer rates, and then high mortality rates. Mr. Speaker, I found in my pigeonhole a communication from the chief government whip or government chief whip directing the ministers. Mr. Speaker, sir, last week I was in the district and I had the opportunity to interact with our DHO and other doctors, asking them whether they were able to see the ministers. Mr. Speaker, sir, the ministers have never made it to Kasese. Mr. Speaker, sir, when you go to the Cancer Institute, every floor, that institute has 5 floors. Every floor has got somebody or a cancer patient from Kasese. And I was trying to statistically make some observation. Almost 80% of the cancer patients in Malago Hospital come from Kasese. Mr. Speaker, sir, as a leader at Makerere University, you're familiar with Professor Hannington Oriem. He made a research in terms of that relates to the copper deposits. The copper miners and processors left copper deposits on the surface. And I remember Professor Oriem Hannington saying, Atkins, I think you could be having a disaster knocking on your district. And I said, Professor, what could be the problem? And he said, my research has found out that the water strips the copper deposits into the water bodies. And it's the same water body that is used as drinking water. Mr. Speaker, I think this is a disaster that it could cause an extinction of an entire community. As a matter of emergency.
Point of procedure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the matter that Honorable Atkins is raising is a crucial health matter in Uganda, not just Kasese. I am rising on a matter of procedure, Mr. Speaker, requesting you whether it is not procedurally right that Mr. Atkins, Honorable Atkins, perhaps him or the minister brings us a paper here in the House so that it is debated, articulated, so that we have a clear message to the people of Uganda. Because the English that is trying to put this matter here is confusing a number of us and making us miss a very serious issue that is affecting very many people, even in the countryside. I am straining myself to understand him, and yet he's saying a very serious issue. And Mr. Speaker, next time Mr. Atkins is supposed to present, he needs to speak the common English of Uganda. We are tired of this, whether he gives us a paper and we follow word by word, because the English is too much. We are just from campaign.
So, Honorable.
Is it not procedurally right that he comes with a paper? Because this.
Honorable Pachuto. so Honorable Pachuto.
Allow me to congratulate you too for having gone unopposed. I am working very hard to come back so that I be the one to nominate you for the next position. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Now, because you brought 2 things, and I want to know what is the problem. The problem, the English, or how complicated the matter is? Or both? So, Honorable Atkins, now you're raising a very critical matter that needs a structured answer. The matters we usually handle here as matters of national importance are matters which are very urgent, and this is an urgent matter, but where an off-cuff answer can be conclusive and helpful. I don't think even the Minister of Health could give a conclusive answer in regard to this matter. So I wanted to guide that you write a comprehensive question to the Prime Minister or even the Minister, because it's provided for under our rules of procedure, so that they can respond here, okay, in writing after consulting the technical people and necessary government agencies. I don't know if that would be satisfactory, Honorable Atkins.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I really appreciate your leadership. Mr. Speaker, sir, like from the very start,
I hope, Honorable Pachuto, you're picking this.
I did indicate, Mr. Speaker, that our government chief whip was kind enough. He put it into writing, and I found the letter right in my pigeonhole. And I'm just struggling to understand why the minister, even after getting a directive or request from the chief government whip, has never made it to community in Kasese. Mr. Speaker, sir, is overwhelming us as a community. Every expectant mother either losing life or a child. This is something they can't wait, Mr. Speaker. So I respectfully ask you, Mr. Speaker, the doctor is here, Honorable Wariomusi, that this could be a fast track, Mr. Speaker.
I request you that put it down, and next week I will require the minister to come and give a comprehensive statement on the same. But Honorable Wariomusi, for now, you can give him to getting answer, which we can be moving on for now. I don't know if you picked the English.
Much obliged, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I thank the Honorable Katushabe for the issue. In the medical language, something which causes cancer is called carcinogenic, and his accent seems carcinogenic. Like Honorable Pachuto was saying.
So Honorable, you want to say his accent causes cancer?
That was on a lighter note. No, I thank him for the concern he has raised. The problem of cancer is real in Uganda and other developing countries, where cancer is on the rise for various reasons which we may not go into. However, the recent studies I have read done by Makerere University do not indicate that Kasese has the highest prevalence or incidence of cancer, although there is a challenge of cancer like any other place. I think the central region, the parts of the north, post higher prevalences than Kasese. And also, there is no scientific consensus that links copper, exposure to copper, to cancer. But the Minister of Health can come and give a detailed paper. And I just wanted to add that, yes, true, when you go to the Uganda Cancer Institute, it is congested with cases of cancer, but the government, like we have explained earlier on.
Procedure?
Mr. Speaker, sir, Dr. Wariomusi is just like me, is a scholar, a philosopher, and a thinker. Now, for anything to be believable, you'll agree with me that there must be research undertaken. And the research finding published in a high-impact, peer-reviewed international journals. In my presentation, I did indicate that Professor Oriam Harrington has undertook research, and there is a paper to that effect.
It seems we have something a member believes is not orderly in the House. But Honorable, you know, you don't access a microphone before, but please raise your point of order.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, a few minutes ago, Honorable Atkins submitted on this floor that 80% of patients, cancer patients in Mulago, are from Kasese. And just a while ago, he said Honorable Wariomusi, who is a scholar like him, and a philosopher, he knows that for anything to be believed, there must be research. So is Honorable Atkins in order to submit on the same floor the 80% which is not researched? Is he in order?
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I listened to Honorable Atkins properly. He said from his assessment. Okay? Because you see, the Hansard is a critical document which can be used by researchers, Obara and all that. So now, when he says from his assessment, now me, I can't question someone's assessment because, you get it? Yeah, that is his personal. Okay, is from his assessment. If he had referred it to a certain research paper and all that, it would be different. But he referred to himself as a philosopher, and then he got another philosopher in Badiomunsi Honorable, and they are disagreeing totally. So I would think these are personal assessments. Yes. So conclude your procedure point, Honorable Atkins. And then we move.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. You are the best in the world. All right. My procedure issue is simple. Is my honorable brother, Minister, Dr. Baryomusi, procedural right to challenge something that has been, researched and published, even in high-impact international peer-reviewed journals? Is it in order, Mr. Minister? But through you, Mr. Speaker. Appreciate it.
Now, it becomes difficult for me to know whether he has not procedurally moved in the right way when you have not referred to the journal or research paper. Exactly, journal or research paper. So, but here it's not a matter of who is right, who is wrong. I think you're all making critical contributions. So let's conclude this matter. Moreover, we are waiting for a statement next week.
Yes, I will confer with Honorable Katsave to avail me the copy of the publication. But I know he has raised a similar issue in Kasese in my presence at a function of cancer. And I called Professor Yemu you are quoting. And he confirmed what I'm saying. That while I don't deny that there is a challenge of cancer in Kasese, but Kasese doesn't post the highest prevalence in the country. But I can look at the publication and then we see how to handle it. But lastly, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to say.
But Yomonsi, he didn't talk about the country. He said those at Cancer Institute. You see, he's very cautious. So maybe other cases don't come to Cancer Institute.
So I want to believe that the Honorable Katsave is just making a naked eye assessment. I don't think there is a technical publication that actually supports what you are saying. But if there is any publication, we could share and look at it. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the government is alive.
Minister, you have your fellow doctors, then maybe want to contribute, Dr. Musa Noah and Dr. Boka Didi.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for giving way. The only research that has been done so far in Uganda in assessing regional cancer spectrum by Uganda Cancer Institute was done between 2017 and 2020, done by Dr. Jackson Orem and the colleagues. And actually in that paper, it put Kampala, Kabale, Iganga, and Gulu as districts with the higher cancer rates in the country. Thank you.
Thank you. I thought scientists, you don't disagree.
So at least he's confirming what I had said earlier on. But lastly, Mr. Speaker, just as information that true when you go to the Uganda Cancer Institute, it's quite baffling because at the moment most cases from up country come to the Cancer Institute. But the government is constructing regional cancer institutes. In Guru, I think Guru is complete, Mbale, Mbarara, and ginger. And I think we have discussed this before. And the Minister of Finance should be having some requests he will be tabling.
On Tuesday, we passed that
Yeah,
funding.
we passed on Tuesday.
we passed
So we are opening those regional centers to manage cancer in the country, but also the Mulago Cancer Institute. We passed resources some time back to upgrade it to a regional center of excellence, where there are many oncologists who are being trained, cancer experts. And many have been sent out to upgrade and specialize, and they will be managing those cancer institutes in the regions. I thank you very much.
Thank you, colleagues. In the public gallery this afternoon, we have students and teachers of Kabarega Secondary School from Masindi District. They are represented in Parliament by Honorable Singa Joab and Honorable Asimo Florence Akiki. They've come to observe proceedings of this House. Please join me in welcoming them. And you can stand up. Very smart. Thank you. Honorable Masaba Karim. No, we concluded that matter. We shall carry it on next week.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I raise on a matter of national importance concerning power outage in Mbale City. Right Honorable Speaker, I've received calls from various leaders in Bugisu, Bududa, Musironko, and other areas confirming that they have also been in a blackout for the last 2 days. The entire Bugisu sub-region has not been having power for the last 2 days, and this is impacting business. Most of our people are incurring losses, especially those who are dealing in the supply chain. Right Honorable Speaker, my prayers are simple that the Ministry of Energy fast tracks the restoration of power in Bugisu sub-region, and since this is not an isolated case, they need to find a permanent solution, Right Honorable Speaker, because the station in Mbale, the substation, that is in Bugema, is actually in a low land or low-lying area where every time we have some rains that are above average, we have power off in the entire Bugisu sub-region. So they need to come up and give us a permanent solution, because this is a place that is prone to flash floods. And then lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, it concerns the power challenges we're having in a country as well. UEDCL, we've seen every time they're having maintenances, we have power outages in different areas. Perhaps the Minister of Education the Minister of Energy can come and give us a brief on that, because we saw several allegations on media that it's deliberate to have a private player come in to perform this role. So I believe the Minister should come and give us a comprehensive report on that. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The first one of outage is for noting, and I hope government takes action urgently on that. The second one, let the Committee on Natural Resources follow up on that matter, because we would need to interact further and even invite the technical people who don't have a way of coming here on the floor. Next item. Oh,
Item-
sorry. I understand the acting LOP, Honorable Jonathan Odu, briefed the Minister for Internal Affairs. I requested him to do so. So, Honorable Minister, on the issue raised by Honorable Odu earlier on the missing Kenyans.
Right Honorable Speaker, yes, indeed, the OHT were Honorable Odu raised issues to do with the two Kenyan nationals, Nicholas Oyo and Bobu Njagi, who allegedly disappeared, and also Mr. Sam Mugumia. I'd like to respond as follows. Indeed, over the two Kenyans, I have seen a communication from the Minister of Foreign Affairs prompted by the Kenyan High Commission regarding the alleged disappearance of their nationals. They said two, Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs communicated to Internal Affairs. We communicated to the police to verify and get back to us. We are yet to get an update, but also it has come to my mind that we need to verify further because for one to be accountable for a citizen or for this matter a foreigner, we have to establish that they came to Uganda. So we need to widen our search even through immigration, and we shall do so and make a more informed position on the matter. On Sam Mugumya, Mugumya is a Ugandan, but he has the unfortunate precedent of having disappeared before and gone to Congo, where he was got on the wrong side of the law and spent a long time in incarceration. Indeed, we shall find out, going through the protocols of missing persons, whether his missing was reported, and if indeed he went back to Congo, we shall still inform the country. I thank you.
Thank you. Procedure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, you gave a directive to the Committee of Education under the stewardship of my chair, who is there. And you gave us time limit to report back to the House because of the teachers' concern. And since the committee started the sitting, 2 ministries have really refused to appear before the committee, and they are not giving sufficient reasons why they are not coming. That is Ministry of Finance, and the Public Service tried to appear, and Education. Today we sat, and there was no response. But this Ministry of Finance is the key in solving the issue of teachers. And up to now, Mr. Speaker, actually I called the big man sitting there, who is your personal assistant, to find out whether I could come and report, directed by my chair, to come and inform you of the same. But you were busy with the visitors you've had. So I don't know whether it's procedure okay. Minister of Finance is here. You direct them to respect the Committee of Education. We have always had battles with them to appear before us. And we cannot solve the issues of teachers without finance appearing before the committee. And our report to this committee will not be successful without them entering appearance to the committee.
Thank you.
So he's here. They have come for loans, as so many of them. But for teachers, they are very negative. But they went through teachers. They learnt English, they learnt how to speak in Parliament, writing, because of us. So I would pray, Mr. Speaker, whether it's procedure okay, you direct, finally, always, the committee does not appear again, because you also know we have to go for campaigns.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, on this matter, what we mainly wanted from finance on our side was for public service, which would have finished negotiating with the teachers to come up with a figure in terms of how much money would be needed. Then finance comes in to say that, well, this is a figure we can now take to cabinet and negotiate over. Now I want to know, public service, have you completed your negotiations with the teachers so that you complete this cycle, you come out with a figure, which figure would now, because now for finance, indeed they should come to the committee, but the thing they should be coming to the committee to discuss would be a figure. So I want to know if public service has sorted out the issue of the amount. Finance deals with amounts, with money, with providing money. I want first to know if public service has sorted out money.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and members. Public service has the figures already, and they were submitted. But when we met the First Lady, we agreed that negotiations will continue, because UNATU had conditions that they wanted us to fulfill. But the PS is writing invitation letters, because we are not meeting only UNATU, we are meeting all the arts cadre, including local government workers. So I think next week as it starts, we will have that meeting and we'll bring a report, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Then,
you.
then at this time, finance is not relevant. No, it's not at this time. Because you see, finance doesn't participate in the negotiations. The ministry in charge of negotiations is the Ministry of Public Service. So committee, I will extend your time, okay? Let Minister of Public Service engage with the teachers. Once they agree, they come update you on what they've agreed with, and then finance now comes in to bridge the gap with the financing. Next item. I've given you more time. You will have, I've extended your time, okay, until they finish the negotiations. Public Service finishes the negotiation with the teachers. Next item.
Item 3 on the order paper. Motion for a resolution of Parliament to authorize government to borrow up to units of account 91,700,000, equivalent to US$ 121,961,000 from African Development Fund for the construction of the South Sudan-Uganda Power Interconnection Project.
But Minister of Public Service, kindly let this be expedited, okay? Let this be expedited, move quickly, conclude, so that the committee can also conclude work. Honourable Minister for Finance, move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to borrow up to units of account 91,700,000, an equivalent of United States dollars 121,961,000 from the African Development Fund for the construction of the South Sudan Uganda Power Interconnection Project. I beg to move. Right,
the motion seconded. Honorable Pachuto, Honorable Timizigo, Honorable Badiomu, Honorable Kasai, Honorable Alanjo, Honorable Diek, Honorable Adiomu. Thank you. And many other members. Minister, you want to give us a quick one?
Mr. Speaker, the motion is moved in accordance with Article 159 of the Constitution and Section 34 of the Rules of Procedure of Section 34 of the Public Finance Management Act and Rule 162 of our Rules of Procedure. The project description is as follows. The project objective is to enhance electricity supply, reliability and affordability by integrating South Sudan into the East African power pool grid. This will address electricity deficits in South Sudan, promote regional energy trade, and provide a market for clean and surplus power generated in Uganda. Specifically, the project aims to provide South Sudan with access to affordable, reliable electricity, enable Uganda to export surplus power, and thereby reducing financial losses from unutilized capacity, and strengthen regional energy security and integration by enhancing power trade between Uganda and South Sudan. The Uganda-South Sudan Power Interconnection Project aims to construct the necessary infrastructure to enable power trading between the two nations, providing affordable and reliable electricity to South Sudan and optimizing Uganda's surplus capacity. The project has got the following components. Under Component 1 is construction of transmission lines, whereby a 400 kV double circuit transmission line spanning approximately 299 kilometers between Orio in Uganda and Juba, South Sudan, designed for a power transfer capacity of up to 1,000 megawatts. The section in Uganda covers a distance of 150 kilometers. Component 2 is construction of substations. The construction of new substations at Gumbo in South Sudan and Bibia in Uganda, and the expansion of existing substations at Orio and Karuma in Uganda to accommodate the new transmission infrastructure. Under Component 3, construction of distribution network and last mile connections. Here there will be a development of a 33 kV distribution network in both countries, extending electricity access to 1,000 new connections, including households, small businesses, and social infrastructure amenities. Component 4, project administration and management services, institutional capacity building, and joint coordination. This will entail the services of project supervision consultant with 2 independent teams, one for South Sudan and another for the Uganda project components, for construction supervision of the project. Component 5, resettlement action plan implementation. This will entail the acquisition of the way leaves for the transmission line infrastructure and the respective compensation of the project affected persons, and livelihood restoration for vulnerable households impacted by the land acquisition for the project. Part of the loan, worth units of account 3.3 million, will cover the RAP implementation. I now come to the financing of the project, Mr. Speaker. The total estimated cost of the Uganda-South Sudan Power Interconnection Project is units of account 185.061 million, with funding contributions from the African Development Fund and European Union and both governments of Uganda and South Sudan. The financing for the Uganda section will be primarily through a concessional ADF loan of 91.7 million units of account. This will be supplemented by counterpart contributions from the Uganda government amounting to units of account 3.29 million. The total cost of the project components for Uganda government is units of account 94.99 million. The financing terms are as follows. Loan amount 91.7 units of accounts. The maturity duration or period is 50 years, including grace period of 10 years. The service charge is 1% per annum of the disbursed loan balance, and commitment fees is 0.75% per annum on the disbursed loan balance. The conditions precedent to the disbursement of resettlement funds are: 1. Submit work compensation schedule in accordance with the resettlement action plan, provide evidence of the establishment of a special account for the resettlement and compensation activities, and 3. Submit the evaluation report for the affected properties prepared by an acceptable valuer. Mr. Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Mr. Chair, kindly present the report. The Minister has given the brief, so yes, Honourable Kataga's procedure.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. In the same vein, I would also like to join my colleagues to congratulate you upon your successful nomination. Unopposed. The minister is always bringing here loans every other day with very good intentions. And as a member of Committee of National Economy, we look at what they are going to do. They look quite developmental. Like one time we brought a loan about rural electrification, I think around 2002. But then when we went to Honorable Kasai, he was saying the loan was passed, everything was done, but money was never disbursed. So now these loans is borrowed money. That means interest will be accruing and no work is done. We've just processed about 12 loans.
What's your procedure, Mr. Honorable?
Are we proceeding well? If we are just here to pass loans and nothing is done, most of the work is not done. Most especially, I would need a clarification from the minister.
Thank you. Honorable colleague, we are proceeding well because you signed this report as member number 37, and because you signed it, I must process it on the floor. So we are proceeding well. Yeah, you signed the report. When you sign a report as a colleague, you want it processed. But please.
Chair, I'm not disputing
Please,
that.
you don't access
but
the
what I'm
microphone without permission of the speaker. Yeah. Thank you. Kindly take your seat. Kindly take your seat, Honorable. Yeah. So if what you've raised, you felt this is not a loan that should have come here, you shouldn't have signed. Because I have a minority report which is signed by your by colleagues for you signed the report. Thank you. Honorable Chair, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, honorable members of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, before I read the report of the Committee on National Economy on the proposal to borrow up to units of accounts 91,700,000, equivalent to US dollars 121,961,000 from the African Development Fund for the construction of the South Sudan Uganda Power Connection Project, SUPIP. I beg to lay the report of the committee. The minutes of the committee are here attached, and also the minority report signed by two members of my committee, Honorable Teba Ndeke and Honorable Hassan Chirumira. Right Honorable, I beg to lay. Honorable members, this loan request was referred to the Committee on National Economy. We had an interaction with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited, UETIS, Uganda Electricity Credit Capitalization Company, and Uganda Electricity Distribution Company. We had a number of documents in line with that were presented together with the loan.
Honorable, can we do page 20? Because the minister has given a full brief. From the
Right Honorable Speaker, I
scope.
was trying to bring out an issue of compliance.
No, but we know you do that. But yes. I wouldn't have allowed the report on the other paper.
Most obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in your guidance, but Right Honorable Speaker, it would also be good for the committee to point out issues in the ministry, most especially like poor performance of some of the loans.
No, Honorable, I expect a report from you and your committee on performance of loans generally, not one loan. And I've been waiting for it, by the way. So better do, then I give you space, not for each loan to go to the same issues, because they are recurrent issues.
Right Honorable Speaker, I take your guidance, Right Honorable Speaker. Page 20 talks about the observations and recommendations of the committee. Right Honorable Speaker, the minister already gave the preamble about this particular loan facility, and the committee made observations. Observation number 1 was regional transmission interconnectors. The committee noted that
Transborder power interconnection projects are inherently complex because they often involve multiple governments, multiple executing or implementing agencies, multiple financials, and must be backed by several agreements to become operational. The committee recommends the following: that Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development should ensure efficient and effective coordination at regional level with the Ministry of Energy and Dams, Southern Sudan, to avoid delays in the utilization of the electricity transmission assets in both countries in order to guarantee the timely realization of the project benefits. Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development should ensure that the final power purchase agreement between the government of Uganda and government of Southern Sudan, including the joint operations and maintenance agreements, are finalized and signed by both governments prior to the completion and live testing of the power connectors. This will avoid the delays due commercial dates of operation of the Southern Sudan-Uganda power interconnection line being postponed as a result of the untimely preparation of the prerequisite documents, namely power purchase agreement and related agreements. 2, the committee made an observation on budget implications of the project. The committee observed that while a budget provision of 1 billion Uganda shillings domestic financing has been provided for the ongoing activities under the project in the financial year 2025-2026, the project first year external financing requirement is not provided for in the financial year 2025-2026 budget. Further, the project is not part of the multi-year commitments settlement statement for the financial year 2025-2026 as presented to Parliament. The external debt requisition to finance year 1 of these project activities increases the financing requirements of government that should be planned in the government physical operations for the current financial year 2025 and over the medium term. The committee recommends that government should expedite the process of including this project to form part of the multi-year commitments of the financial year 2025-2026 and the medium term. And as a result, government should adjust its physical framework to include any costs associated with the financing modalities of the project for the financial year 2025-2026 and the medium term. In conclusion, Right Honourable Speaker, cognizant of the regional integration, regional energy infrastructure development is prioritized in the 4th National Development Plan, financial year 2025-2026 to 2029-2030. Since investing in the electricity supply industry is multifaceted intervention that does not only support socio-economic growth, but also addresses technical challenges in other sectors such as agriculture, health, transport, education, and telecommunication, among others. The implementation of the project will enable Uganda to trade 624 gigawatt hour of its surplus energy with Southern Sudan in the first year of operation, with corresponding huge reduction in greenhouse gas emission. Uganda will receive direct economic benefits as a result of this project, which will be redistributed within the energy sectors, especially in contributing to increasing the proportion of the population with access to electricity within the country. The project will further complement previous and the ongoing energy operations, specifically by expanding the national transmission network, thereby providing the backbone to increase electricity access, particularly in Acholi sub-region, which has one of the lowest grid access rates in the country, alongside Karamoja and West Nile. The committee recommends that The request by government to borrow up to units of accounts 91,700,000 from the African Development Fund for the construction of Southern Sudan Uganda Power Interconnection Project be approved subject to the above recommendations. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you. I want to welcome the Right Honorable Prime Minister to the House. Thank you. This debate opens now. I'll start with Honorable Chair, he said we have a minority report, and Honorable Tebandeke is ready. Let's first receive the minority report from Honorable Tebandeke.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I move under Rule 215 of our Rules of Procedure to present a minority report on the resolution of Parliament to borrow up to UA 91,700,000 equivalent to US dollar 121,961,000 from African Development Fund for the construction of South Sudan Uganda Power Interconnection Project. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we are cognizant of the fact that this specific project is to enhance electricity supply and reliability and affordability by integrating South Sudan into East African Power Pool, EAPP, to address electricity deficit in South Sudan. Even when our government has failed to connect many parts of the country to the national grid. Our colleagues, our reports from Uganda National Bureau of Statistics 2024 show that the national electricity connection rate in Uganda is still rotating around 25.3% to the national grid, with significant differences between urban, that is 49%, and rural, that's 9.1% areas. And with only about 15% enjoying reliable electricity, including rural residents who are disproportionately affected. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, while the committee was scrutinizing this particular request, we disagreed on two crucial issues for the whole House's attention, and I hereby highlight them. Area of dissent. We dissented with the majority of the committee on fundamental matters. 1. Missing memorandum of understanding, power purchasing agreement and contract between Uganda and the rest of the neighbors, including South Sudan in question. 2. Inadequate information on the project and the power capacity. Right Honorable Speaker, I hereby explain as follows. 1. Missing memorandum of understanding, power purchasing agreement and contract between Uganda and the rest of its neighbors, including South Sudan in question. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we acknowledge that the regional power trade is advancing rapidly after exports to our neighbors of Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania, Democratic Republic of Congo, and lately to South Sudan. However, Ugandans have not had a chance to know the memorandum that governs this exportation. The contract terms and obligations governing the export are still a public secret from the Parliament for its interrogation and further inquiries. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, only 25.3% of Ugandans connected to the national grid and only 15% enjoying reliable electricity. Rumors have it that where we export or sell our power, importers enjoy a unit price cheaper compared to us exporters, Right Honorable Speaker. This is a disservice to Ugandans, Right Honorable Speaker, and this has made many Ugandans resort to cheaper means like use of solar, given its negative consequences. Other factors remain constant. With places like Kalangala, a unit is going above Uganda shillings 1,500 per unit. This government owes an explanation as to why electricity is still costly to us Ugandans compared to our neighbors where we do export electricity. Right Honorable Speaker, point number 2 of dissent is inadequate information on the project and the power capacity. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, analyzing the proposed intervention like 400 kV double circuit transmission line, approximately 299 kilometers with a power transfer capacity to up to 1,000 MV. One question at hand is, what is the installation capacity and available megawatts that our country has before dreaming of export? Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the gap between installed generation capacity and available power is not clear because factors like low hydropower output during droughts, high transmission and distribution losses, and low access rate dilute the impact of increased capacity, as lamented by the Minister of Energy. Reports on installed capacity reaching 2048 megawatts are insignificant, with persistent challenges of reliance on hydroelectric power, which is affected by water levels and low grid expansion. Additionally, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the statement from the Managing Director of Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited that portrays that power demand has increased to 10% per annum in the country and is enough to fast-track power distribution and extension to Ugandans than lack of power, than borrowing power for export. Right Honorable Speaker. We here to recommend as follows. We recommend that this House, in the spirit of minimizing the reducing loan appetite for Ugandans, that is seeing almost above 50% of the national budget tied to debt management, not even service, in a spirit that our debt to GDP has increased nearly to 52%, we request this Parliament to stand over on this loan for the following reasons, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. 1, the Attorney General to lay before this House the memorandum and contract terms, probably explain contract obligations within the and contract obligation that regulate the export of power to our neighbors. This embeds the selling price of a unit of power to our neighbors. 2, Parliament resolves to reconsider this proposal to instead look for cheap credit to extend the power to Ugandans as opposed to heavy borrowing for export, yet many Ugandans are not yet connected to the national grid. Right Honorable Speaker. We hereby conclude as follows. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we request that for the sake of reducing the risks and the fear of increasing the debt stock for the country, you consider and overwhelmingly support this minority report to stand over on this loan so that we fast track electricity for distribution and connecting of Ugandans than thinking of exportation with relative disadvantages and secrecy within the memorandum of understanding that is not availed in here. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Why didn't you add on those words on the report? The ones you've ended with? Maybe your colleague wouldn't have signed, or just that was on a light note. Yeah, thank you.
Right, Honorable
No,
Speaker.
that was just on a light note domain. Yeah. You've done a thorough job, Honorable colleague. Yes, so I'll start with Honorable Slaji. I add on youth. I add on Honorable Kawasharira. Then I'll pick you, Honorable colleagues. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I first of all want to congratulate you for being unopposed. And when I come to this parliament again, you shall not be sure of my votes.
And I saw you are doing well in your constituency when I
Thank
came
you very
in.
much.
I wish you the best.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to concur with the report of borrowing loan in order to supply power to South Sudan. That one is really going to be a good business for Uganda, because we Ugandans, we operate businesses in South Sudan and in neighboring countries like Kenya and Rwanda. So when we supply power into these countries, automatically we shall also be beneficiaries of the utilization of the power. And in turn, it will also bring for us income to Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, I also want to be categorically clear on this point. We supply power to other countries, and at the rate they are paying power is extremely lower than how we Ugandans who supply power to these countries are paying. So something should be done in order to normalize these rates, so that we who are the suppliers of these powers should also benefit at least much lower than what they are getting from us. And secondly, there are many areas in Uganda where power has not been supplied. So borrowing such a loans in order to supply power to those areas, to nearby countries, we should first consider supplying power to our people, so that the supplement should be the one which should be given to those countries, so that our people will also benefit from the power that is available.
Thank
I
you.
beg to submit.
Thank you. Honorable Gumayo.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to vehemently support this loan on two merits. Number one, Honorable Speaker, what we are doing, like what we are going to do, extend power to South Sudan, like we did the past few years, extending our roads to DRC Congo. Honorable Speaker, these we do help us cast a shadow and become a powerful nation in this region. And we should not go without expressing our gratitude to the visionary leadership of our government, the head of state, and all leaders of the NRM. Because by doing this, we project ourselves as a powerful country in the region and remain so as a necessity. And on the second issue, Right Honorable Speaker, while my colleague across the aisle was arguing on the basis of us having insufficient, I wish to request that our colleagues always first read the reports. For example, the committee report did a good job in explaining that by 2024 alone, Uganda's power capacity was over 2,000 megawatts. And as a country, we were only consuming 988 megawatts. It means we have a surplus of over 1,000 megawatts, and of which, by the way, we pay for this power even when we don't consume it. And some of this power to produce, we have borrowed money, and we continue paying for it even when we don't consume it. Right Honorable Speaker, this loan is in the best of the interest of Ugandans, that we borrow it, then supply this power to South Sudan. They pay for it as we relieve ourselves of the debt burden for the loans that we borrowed earlier to produce this power. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Kawashadira. Then Honorable Bigaro.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I will just continue from where he stopped by appreciating the chairman for the report, and also for the government to think of extending power to our neighboring country. And also thank the government for extending power to Kenya, Rwanda, our neighbors. I would like to use this chance to be explained, and I think it will even explain more to the public that is listening to this. Because many Ugandans will put a question like we are putting, that why export when we can't get in the country? I might be understanding why, But may we use this chance for Honorable Kasai to explain to us why we have a lot of power to supply. What is happening to the distribution in this country? We really need that distribution to cover a big area. What is it that is stopping us? If it is to borrow, why don't we also borrow for distribution so that our areas which are in darkness can get power? We can borrow. We are here, we shall pass we are going to pass this one. But may you explain to this country, use this chance, why we still have, like some of us are going to have problems in getting votes. Yes, we shall get, but with many questions. People are asking, why don't you give this power? We are not having power here and there. And then we explain, then we go to the ministry, then they promise, then they do what? What is it? Now when they see this loan, because people read, social media, get out. You are going to give power to Sudan. But here we are. And also this load shedding. We have enough. Why don't we control the load shedding? It is too much. People are losing business because of power. People are losing gadgets in the house because power comes. What is it? Can we get...
Thank you, Honorable.
Can we get explanation? Honorable Speaker, I would like to be explained sincerely. And I think the public will also benefit on this. Thank you so much.
Honorable Bigaros.
Yeah, thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. In the same vein, I want to congratulate the committee for such a well-thought idea to give power to my neighbors in Sudan. Historically, I'm called Sudanese group of people. But the only embarrassing thing, very embarrassing, you forget about yourself, you prefer a neighbor. Obongi does not have a single electric pole. Terego, that hosts very many refugees. And where Honorable Minister Kasai gets money specifically to refugee hosting, they have become adamant. The other day, my people didn't know what to do. They were now asking for power directly from the president. What is this stopping us from first serving ourselves and then we give the excess to the neighbors? Two, the most crucial thing here, I sit on the Committee of Natural Resources. As power travels a long distance, there's a lot of leakage. Why don't you break this power within West Nile that is really crying? Last time when Honorable Minister for Energy was in West Nile, she was booed and made to sit embarrassed before the president. I think this is the only language Minister of Energy understands. We have failed to explain ourselves to the local people of West Nile. Arua has a lot of potential for business. The refugees, the NGOs have established welding machines, areas for promoting youth, but they cannot. The ministry has adamantly refused to step down power. They can come and say, let's transport power now to Sudan. As if there are no human beings in West Nile. You have turned us into animals. We don't need power because we are not part of the national park. We need clear explanation before we can allow this loan to proceed to Sudan, or else we get it. Let's first sort West Nile, then we can now, because proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Jonathan Odur.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I associate myself with the comments and concerns and the sentiments of the members of this House. But before I proceed to make comment, I want to compliment the committee. Having looked at Table 1 and Table 2, Table 1 is about the compliance. Except for the counterpart funding, which I think has a score less by 3 points. this loan scores almost 100% on our own requirements. And I'm raising this, Mr. Speaker, sir, because I'm a very strict enforcer of our own rules of procedure. And I feel that documents and reports that come from our committees must honor our own rules of procedure. So when I look at this report, it's almost 100%. The second is on table 2, which is about the performance of loans. I invite members to look at some of the projects that we have borrowed but remain undisbursed. I think some of the concerns that we are raising here, for example, the electricity scale-up access project is just 80%. I mean, it's 20%, 80% remain undisbursed. There's a transmission line from Masaka to Mbarara, almost 100%. The loan is just lying there. I think 2 loans. And then power supply to industrial areas. The ministry should explain to us why they would come to us to borrow and raise the appetite of Ugandans that we are going to connect them to the grid, and in the end, some of these monies remain, and yet we have to pay a lot of cost. I also want to question, if you are going to take this power from Karumba through Acholi and West Nile, and the 2 communities remain in darkness, especially West Nile that has remained for a very long time. And yet when you look at the National Development Plan of the 1980 to 1985, the one of UPC, there was already a plan in place to connect the entire West Nile. By the time the NRM government took grabbed power, that plan was already there. 40 years up to today, West Nile is still crying for just connection to the grid, and their power is unreliable. So I want to implore the government that do not allow your own citizens who are going to shoulder the burden of this loan to be crying for power, and then you want to just, if I may use the words of my brother Rugumayo, that you want to be a big man of the region. There is no pride in being a big man presiding over other countries when your own country does not have a power supply. So that narrative, I depart from it, and I think we shouldn't just be doing things because we want to position Uganda as the big man of the region when we cannot supply our own. Lastly, the issue raised in the minority report of the power purchase agreement. Mr. Speaker, I implore you to prevail over the ministry to provide this information to the House. We have entered so many bad agreements, and then in the end, Parliament is blamed. We ought to be availed this document. At least there are mechanisms I know within this House. If the document cannot be accessed by everyone, but at least within the committee, and maybe a group of members can review, including your office, Mr. Speaker, sir, so that we avoid suspicion, we avoid blame game, and even we save this country potential hazard that may arise out of a bad contract. We have bad people all over the world who are moving, trapping countries, setting them up, and after 2-3 years, we come here, we have to terminate and then compensate. So I would implore that this issue of the power purchase agreement should not be swept under the carpet. We have to get an explanation from the government. Otherwise, in this loan, I think I commend the compliance level of the documents supplied by the government to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Honourable Minister, yes, just we need responses to these issues because you have a run of 2015, which was supposed to end by 2020. You've not yet completed. You have, no, Honourable, please, take your seat. You have a run of 2020, which was supposed to end in 2024. The performance is 0.33%, not even 1%. You have a run of which was supposed to end in 2023, and your performance is even worse, 0.32%. Okay? You have one which was supposed to end in 2024. The performance is at 0%. And you want us to give you more money. What would be the basis? Number two, where is the power purchase agreement between you and South Sudan? Why didn't the committee receive it? I was just trying to summarize what colleagues raised here. If you can satisfy them.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I'll start by addressing a justification for the loan, then I'll answer those questions. One, we're a signatory to the East African Power Pool, where we agreed to share electrons, and the electrons will not be flowing one direction. We are actually in the East African Power Pool, we are trading in power. It is not always that Uganda will have excess power. For example, occasionally we actually import electricity to kickstart our systems from Kenya. And this one is supposed to enhance the flow of electrons across the East African region. And the reason why we are doing this, in case we fall short of electricity, we should be able to import electricity. Within the East African region, you find Ethiopia is actually having more electricity than us. And in case of shortages, like it happened recently in Southern Africa, where the dam actually went and they produced about 10% of their electricity, we should be able to bring in electricity. That is the major reason for actually saying that we must trade in East Africa to avoid shortages across the East African states. Number two, the report clearly says that we have excess available electricity. Yes, we are producing 256 megawatts now, but we are using only 900. It means we have some electricity that we can sell. And this selling of electricity not only brings in foreign currency to our country, but it also contributes to reducing the power tariffs which you are talking about. Because if you are producing electricity and you are not selling, the tariffs is shared, the cost of production of electricity is shared among the few consumers. But if we can extend the power, it contributes to reduction of the tariffs. For example, recently we had a 14% reduction of the tariffs in Uganda by only removing umeme. And would want to continuously reduce the power tariffs by selling out whatever we produce. So it has got a fact of reducing the tariffs instead of raising the tariffs.
Honourable Minister, the members have not had a problem with that, if I listen to their submission. Their problem was, why don't you sell that power to Ugandans who have no connection? Why don't you connect to Ugandans? You sell that power to Ugandans who are dying for it, instead of you connecting another country and you sell it to others. That's a question. I think if you could answer that line, it would make it easier for them.
I will add. Let me answer that one. Why are we not distributing the power? The budget provisions cannot allow me to distribute the power because I need $4 billion if I'm to deliver electricity. And two, it is very expensive to distribute electricity. I'm going to challenge the members of parliament. Wherever we pass electricity, the parliamentarians demand for electricity, but when we go to take electricity, the cost of clearing the land, the PAPs, is extremely high. It is.
But honourable colleagues, let's not roast the minister here.
That's actually a chorus.
But honourable minister, you see, what is very clear is that we have given you money through loans, but they are not performing. So I think what we should do, we should focus on the performance of the loans we have given you, so that you reach out to very many people, you distribute them this power. If these loans performed well, I'm sure you would be having very many people to give power. So how can we help you on that, Honourable Minister? Rope, let the rope add something, and we are here to support you, Honourable Minister. We want to move with you. But then you also listen to the concerns
yes.
of the colleagues.
Mr. Speaker, sir, out of the 10.8 million households, only 2.3 million are connected to electricity. And that's the concern. So the question we are posing to you, if you connect all the 10.8, will you have excess supply? The answer obviously will be no. The answer will be no. And it's unfair for you, the minister, to come and blame us for not providing funding, yet I've cited for you, I think 3 electricity access scale performing very poorly, 2 transmission lines from Masaka to, I think, to Mbarara or somewhere there, 2 performing, industrial park, power to industrial parks. There is an industrial park in Lira, and people want power. There is no connection, and the loan is performing at 0%. So the question you should tell us is whether, if you execute all these loans to the dot, will you have excess power? Obviously, no.
Chair, it is actually wrong for Honorable Dur to allege that it's only less than 20% of the households who are connected to electricity. To our statistics, it is 60% of Ugandans are connected. Chair, I'll go to talk about this. What do you mean by electricity? Electricity is electrons flowing. 22% are connected to the grid, but 38% are connected to alternative electricity sources. Yes, we have mini grids which are solar based. We have rooftop. Those are all electricity connections. Let's not focus on grid connection. It is how many people use electricity. So it is 60%. No, I'm not. Let me continue answering the questions. But I'm talking about the percentage of the population. It cannot be 22. Number 2, electricity access scale-up project. While I appreciate your approval of the project, it actually we provided for counterpart funding, which is not provided. So we would wish to get this project moving, but the counterpart fund must be provided because it is in the agreement.
Really, it's not, Honourable Minister for Finance, is it true? Because it was not a lot of money. This is the World Banker project, very critical. Minister for Finance is here.
Right Honourable Speaker, every year we budget, and it is about the entity to prioritize, to choose what to use for the money we give them. If Ministry of Energy thinks counterpart funding is a priority out of the priorities they have, then they should be able to find money within their budget and provide for it.
Honourable Minister, Power Purchase Agreement.
A power purchase agreement for this one is not yet ready because you cannot go into power purchase agreement when you don't have infrastructure. It is based on the approval of this loan that we can start discussing a power purchase agreement. Two, there is no country that we're exporting power to at less than 12 US cents. Kenya, for example, our provision of power to Kenya is 12 US cents per kilowatt hour. And there is no area in Uganda which we are supplying power at more than 10 US cents. Kalangal Island, it is because it is not on the grid. That's why we have that high tariffs. Anyone here is actually consuming power at about 7 US cents, and we have reached 5 US cents for large industries. So that is much lower than anywhere in the region. So we are the cheapest tariff, the lowest tariff in the region, because of most of our power is hydro-based. The cost of producing that power is quite low, unlike other countries where they rely on thermal generation of power. Diesel generation is quite high, and that's what's happening in many of our countries. So the power purchase agreement, I can talk about the Kenyan one, but I cannot talk in anticipation of what we are going to do with the South Sudan. The performance of the various projects, electricity access scale-up is actually delayed implementation because of the World Bank clearances. But good news, we have reached now a procurement level where we expect the project to start performing. However, the PAF requirement, where I need counterpart fund, will continue counting negatively on us. The Mbarara line, this project is delayed because of the terms of the financial. There has been moving to and fro. It is financed by the French, and we had actually a problem in the procurement. The best evaluated was a Chinese company, but the financiers insist that we are going to get their a country which is favorable, a French company, and this one has taken a long time to overcome. The last one, the supply of electricity to the industries. That project is actually on course, including providing substations in the various industrial parks, like Mbale Industrial Park, the Soroti Industrial Park. The project is also on course to provide power to those industrial parks. Many industrial parks have actually been connected, but they don't have adequate power supply because we have got to build substations in those various industrial parks at the transmission lines. We have a project which we have actually specifically developed for delivering adequate and reliable power to the industrial parks, meaning extending transmission lines and then having substations in those industrial parks. The industrial parks are developing faster than the power supply that we have. So we have got to deliver the power through the transmission lines. I submit.
So, but Honourable Minister, I just wanted to really be in line with you and the committee, because someone must be wrong somewhere. The committee report on page 9 shows the one for industrial parks, it shows zero progress. And this is a project which should have been completed by 2024, because it was the loan of 2020. So who is wrong when you say you've made that progress? You think it's an error so that we correct it, Honourable Minister? I'm seeing disbursing, zero progress, physical, zero progress.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the project is at procurement level. So long as you have not concluded procurement on the infrastructure project, you actually realize zero spending of money.
Yes.
But the moment we get the procurement over, that project will be delivered.
So I didn't get the exact reason why a project which was supposed to end in 2024.
It is still procurement.
From 2020 to 2024, and this contract, this project, if I remember very well, had a contractor on it even. Because I remember a little bit about the Honorable Chair, maybe let the Chair of the Committee furnish us with some detail. It should have ended by 2024. We are in 2025, you're still procuring.
Right Honorable Speaker, the Minister should be informing this House that the Adaria acquired a loan and later the premium, and that's Sinosure. So, and actually recently, so the lender will not disburse an amount until the other amount of the premium was financed. And actually, recently we came back to this Parliament to approve additional financing to cater for that extra, which was Sinosure. So that's why that project would not kickstart.
Thank you. Now I think that's a better explanation. I remember us approving that extra financing. So, Honourable Minister, we request you, you know, we have many colleagues who are struggling in their constituencies because of power. So I'm sorry, that's why you see. So I think I will request the Honourable Minister of Finance to meet with the Minister of Energy to discuss the issue of counterpart funding for that World Bank project. Because I remember both finance and energy were here and they assured us, and this is an extremely critical project, very big, over $1 trillion, you know, where we shall be paying interest on undisbursed money if we don't move. Honourable colleagues, I put the question that a motion for resolution of Parliament authorize government to borrow up to 91,700,000 equivalent USD 121,961,000 from African Development Fund for the construction of the South Sudan Power Interconnection Project SUPIP be approved by this House. Those in favor say nay. The ayes have it. Honourable Minister, please ensure that indeed you go ahead and you implement this, but plus other projects, because you've had, it's not that the MPs are against this project per se, but they have concerns on how they are, projects that affect them are not. Yes. The MPs have given you a warning, they are supporting you, but they are saying don't bring any other on until you sort these issues. Honourable Roper has suggested you don't bring any other on from your sector until you address their issues. We shall stop on the ones of today for now. Thank you. Next item.
Item 4 on the order paper. Motion for resolution of Parliament authorize government to borrow up to €230,454,687.23 from Citibank to finance the design and build of the Jinja Mboramoti Kamuri Bukungu Road 107 kilometers and Jinja City Road 10 kilometers project in Uganda.
Honourable Minister for Finance.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to borrow up to euros 198,625,742 from the City Bank to finance the design and build of the Jinja Mburamuti Kamlibukungu Road and the Jinja City Roads project in Uganda. I beg to move.
The motion seconded. Honorable Brenda Nabo Kenya. Honorable Anifa. I consider those standing up. Honorable Adiomu. Honorable Tevandeke in the capital letters. Alanyo. Honorable Remricha. Honorable Kasai. Honorable Bigaros. Honorable Adiomu. Katikamu North. Is it North? No, Nakasongora, sorry. Yes. Is it yes, Wanzara, only Wanzara. Is it Nakasongora? Oh, Nakasongora. Yes. Honorable Pastor Wanzara. Honorable Muhumuza. Honorable Siraj. Honorable Enoch. Honorable Karwanga. David. Thank you. Honorable Minister, want to speak to your motion?
Right Honorable Speaker, the project scope and components are the following. The upgrading of Jinja Mburamuti Bukungu Road is part of the Integrated Transport Infrastructure Services Program in the National Development Plan. The project is key in delivering the program's objective of increasing the stock and quality of transport infrastructure. To achieve this, the project will be implemented through components which include 1. Upgrading the existing Class C gravel road to Class 2 paved standard with a design life of 20 years, including all the necessary drainage structures and road furniture for the safe operation of the road. The upgraded road will have a 7-meter carriageway with 1.5-meter shoulders on either side, resulting in a total road width of 10 meters. B. The construction will include drainage structure like side drains, culverts, and bridges across major crossings. The road works include 1. Site installation, 2. Preparatory works, 3. General earthworks, 4. Construction of the roadway and pavement layers, 5. Drainage network, 6. Execution of signaling and safety equipment works, 7. Public lighting where necessary, 8. Structures, and 9. Implementation of the environmental and social management plan. Mr. Speaker, as part of the environmental and social management plan, tree planting will be included to help consolidate some of the areas around the roadway catchment and in areas where it could help manage potential flooding. Where any minor vegetation is cleared, this should be offset in other critical biodiverse or swampland areas to benefit biodiversity and hydrological regimes. The flow of water in the wetland will be maintained via connections and culverts integrated into the approved design. These various road design features are developed to standards that address identified climate risks, including flooding, increased precipitation, and other extreme climate variables, and will adopt strict road safety measures to ensure users' safety, including meeting the safety of women and youth. I now come to the project financing. Mr. Speaker, the project cost, this one I had mentioned, I don't have to repeat. And I now come to...
Honorable Minister, that's enough. You've
No, the
captured
terms,
enough.
I have to present the
We
terms.
have them in the report.
You have the terms in the report?
Yes, they are in the report.
Okay.
And members have read the report. Yeah, it's the report that confirms, not your submission here on.
Okay. In the interest of time, no, the benefits are very important.
Honorable Minister,
Mr.
we
Speaker.
have them in the report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kale, thank you. very
Honorable
much.
Chair,
I move.
start from page 18.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As per your directive, I go to page 18. But for purposes of emphasis, this is a report of the committee.
The Chair, you should first put the minutes and the report, everything. Yeah.
Honorable.
That's the normal procedure, and then you on the report.
Thank you, Right Honorable. I thought you had also directed that I go straight to. I beg to on table minutes of the Committee on National Economy in processing this request. I beg to lay. Right Honorable Speaker, also on table the report of the Committee on National Economy on the proposal by government to borrow up to euro 230 million dollars from Citibank to finance design and build of the Jinja Mulamuti Kamuli Bukungu Road 127 kilometers and Jinja State Roads 10 kilometers project in Uganda. I beg to lay. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, page 18, we have the observations and recommendations. 1. Unfavorable project financing terms. The committee noted that the project financing terms characterized by a 13-year maturity period, including 3 years grace period, is not favorable given the experience from implementation of projects in the Works Ministry. This will erode the economic gains from the project as the payment will start before completing project implementation. The financing terms are also on a higher side, considering insurance, arrangement fees, and commitment fees. The committee recommends that the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development should renegotiate the project financing terms downwards, as these commercial terms are expensive considering the current debt situation. 2. Duplicated costs for engineering designs and surveys. The committee noted that the Government of Uganda, through the Uganda National Roads Authority, contracted consultants to undertake feasibility study and detailed engineering designs of the road in 2 sections. Studies on the Jinja Mbulamuti Kamuli Road, that's 62 kilometers, were completed in June 2016, whereas section of Kamuli Bukungu, 64 kilometers, was completed in August 2012. The feasibility study includes 13.2 billion for engineering designs and surveys. The committee recommends that, as a good practice, these costs should be excluded from the project budget to minimize the undue burden on Uganda's debt position, because these designs are already there. 3. Engineering design reviews for road projects. The committee noted the increased inconsistencies with carrying out engineering design reviews for the majority of the road infrastructure projects, which contributes to the continued escalation of high road project costs. The committee recommends the following. The Minister of Works, Transport should give authority to the Chief Engineer to approve designs, conduct design reviews and associated costs in line with design manuals, ensure consistency across the various projects, and minimize the design risks associated. 2. The Office of the Engineer-in-Chief in collaboration with Ministry of Finance, Planning and Community Development and NPA, should regularly undertake independent unit costing reviews for externally funded road projects to ensure that all loan projects costs are in line with market benchmarks and do not escalate unnecessarily. Right Honorable Speaker, this project and the loan also includes the acquisition for right-of-way, so it's also embedded in the overall project cost, so we may not have issues like delays in implementation. And in that line, Honorable Speaker, conclusion, upgrading Jinja Mbulamuti Kamuli Bukungu Road, 127 kilometers, to paved standard is economically justified and financially viable. This road will enhance linkage of Busoga sub-region to Teso and Lango sub-regions, as well as the Nakasongola district, which share Lake Kyoga. The rapid growth in the physical development and population of Jinja City has increased demand for better road infrastructure. Roads within Jinja City require immediate upgrading, stock rehabilitation to increase driver comfort, riding quality, and road user costs. The committee therefore recommends that the request by government to borrow up to euro 230,454,688 euros from Citibank to finance the upgrade of the Jinja Mbulamuti Kamuli Bukungu Road and Jinja City Road 10 kilometers project be approved, subject to the above recommendations. And Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the committee, and as you saw, Honorable Tebandeke also seconded this loan as opposed to the other loans. With this, I beg to move.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. I now put the question at a motion for a resolution of Parliament authorize government to borrow up to euro 230,454,687.23 million from Citibank, finance the design and build of the Jinja Mbulamuti Kamuli Bukungu Road, 127 kilometers, and Jinja City Road, 10 kilometers, project in Uganda be approved by this House. Those in favor say to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, this is a project, I want to thank you, this is a project that has been here every day, everyone talking about it. Yes. Next item. Let's do the last item, colleagues.
Item 4 on the order paper. Motion for resolution of Parliament to authorize government to borrow up to euro 342,592,806.25 from Standard Chartered Bank for the construction of 400 kV Karuma Toro double circuit transmission line and associated substations and 132/33 kV Ntinda substation project.
Honorable colleague, this project, yesterday I had a meeting with the ambassador of Norway who came to me because I wanted to ask Minister of Finance why you captured it this way, because they told me that the money is coming from the Norwegian bank, but it's Standard Chartered Bank is an arranging bank. So sometimes when people see these commercial banks, we immediately get scared. So I think we need to get, because I asked the ambassador, and the Norwegians have been supporting us so much on these projects, and their money is usually very cheap. So I think next time it should be captured to include such a element. The commercial banks don't just scare us. Honourable Minister, kind of move your motion. I just wanted to inform you about that.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I take note of your concern and the concern of the ambassador.
No, it wasn't the ambassador's concern, because she doesn't know how we frame it on our order paper. It was mine. In fact, it was on Tuesday.
Also,
yeah.
We note maybe we shall
recognize the Norwegians
sit and review our structure, our format of presentation, because we have always presented in this structure. But nonetheless, sir, I beg to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to borrow up to euros 342,592,806.25 from the Standard Chartered Bank to finance the construction of the 400 kV Karuma Tororo double circuit transmission line and associated substations and 132/33 kV Ntinda substation project. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker.
Is the motion seconded? Obongi, Honorable Katsai, Honorable Mugasa, Fande Maska, Fandalanyo. And very many colleagues. Thank you. Honorable Minister, a brief about the project.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the project seeks to increase transmission capacity and reliability to ensure efficient utilization of power generated from the Karuma hydropower plant while supporting Uganda's goal of industrialization, regional power trade, and energy security. To achieve this, the project will be implemented through three key components that are outlined below. 1. Construction and transmission lines, 400 kV double circuit transmission line from Karuma to Tororo. This will cover 347 kilometers and 220 kV double circuit loop in loop out for Tororo to Tororo border substation, 400 meters and 132 kV double circuit loop from Namave, Kampala North to Ntinda substation. Component 2 is construction of substations. Construction of new substations, 400/220 kV Tororo border and 132/33 kV Ntinda substations, and expansion of the existing 400/132 kV Karuma substation to accommodate new transmission infrastructure. And component 3, resettlement action plan implementation. This involves acquisition of way leaves for the transmission corridor, compensation of the project affected persons, and livelihood restoration for vulnerable households affected by land acquisition. Mr. Speaker, the financing, this one I had mentioned, and it will be financed with support from the Swedish Export Credit Agency of Sweden. The project will be financed through loan from Standard Chartered Bank, structured into two facilities, namely the EKN covered facility. This amounts to euros 291,440,699, extended by Standard Chartered Bank and fully guaranteed by the Swedish Export Credit Agency. And 2, a commercial facility of euros 51.152 provided directly by Standard Chartered Bank on commercial terms. The EKN covered facility will finance the main construction works under concessional terms, while the commercial facility will meet counterpart funding requirements, including the resettlement action plans and other related costs. The terms are loan amount 291.44 million euros. The loan duration 13 years with a grace period of 3 years. The interest rate is 6 months Euribor of 2.124% as at 28th of October, plus a margin of 0.9, which adds up to 3.024%. The margin is 0.9% per annum, The agency fees is 350,000 euros flat. Commitment fee 0.2% per annum on the undisbursed funds. The arrangement fees is 1.4% flat on the loan amount, and the loan repayment is semi-annually. The terms on the commercial facility are as follows. Loan amount 51.152 million euros. This includes 5% of land compensation. The period is 7 years. The grace period is 1 year. Interest rate is 6% Euribor, which is at 2.14% as of yesterday, plus margin of 4.6%. All in will amount to will equal to 6.724%. The margin is 4.6. Commitment fees 1.38% on undisbursed loan. Arrangement fees 1.3 flat. Mr. Speaker, brief on the benefits. The project will improve power supply reliability in the eastern and greater Kampala metropolitan regions, enabling industries and households to access stable electricity. It will facilitate regional power trade with Kenya, promote economic growth and job creation, and strengthen Uganda's role in the East African power pool. The construction of the Ntinda substation will relieve pressure on Kawanda and Lugogo substations, while the Tororo border substation will support Tororo Industrial Park and expand industrial capacity in the eastern region. Overall, the project will enhance Uganda's energy security, reduce transmission losses, and support the country's industrialization and export-led growth strategy. I submit, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Chair, the Minister has given details. I think you can present the report, and after laying on paper, you on table, you start with page 11, observations and recommendations.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, my colleagues, honourable members of Parliament. I beg to lay the report of the Committee on National Economy for the proposal to borrow up to euros 342,592,806.25 from the Standard Chartered Bank for the construction of 400 kV Karuma Tororo double circuit transmission line and associated substations, and 132/33 kV Ntinda substation project. I beg to lay, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, as guided, the committee made an observation, a single observation, in line with the projects being implemented by Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. The project affected persons, Right Honourable, is one of the observations that we made. The committee was informed that the total cost for compensation of the project affected persons, the PAPs, is euros 48.595 million, which forms part of the commercial facility to be borrowed from Standard Chartered Bank. The committee observed that part of the main challenges affecting the project implementation in the energy transmission project is aggrieved PAPs who are not in agreement with the compensation sums. Case in point is the Masaka Mbarara 400 kVA transmission line and associated substations that has recorded zero progress by December 2024. 7 years since its financing was considered, the project faced challenges relating to compensation of PAPs who are aggrieved with the revised compensation amounts. The committee was concerned that this may impact the handover. This may impact of the right of way to the contractor. The handover of the right of way to the contractor. The committee recommends that the resettlement and compensation of project-affected persons along the project location be given a first priority upon effectiveness of this financing, since it caters for the PAP costs, and any delays in settling these costs may escalate to changes in evaluation costs and delays in project implementation. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, subject to the observation and recommendation presented above, the committee recommends that the proposal by government to borrow up to euros 342,592,806.25 from the Standard Chartered Bank for the construction of the 400 kVA Karuma Tororo double circuit transmission line and associated substations, and 132/33 kV Ntinda substation project be approved. Right Honorable, I beg to move. I beg to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I put the question that the motion for resolution of Parliament authorize the government to borrow up to euro 342,592,806.25 million from Standard Chartered Bank for the construction of 400 kV Karuma Toro double circuit transmission line and associated substations, and 132/33 kV Ntinda substation project to be approved by this House. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Colleagues, House adjourned. Sign die.
Corpus Christi est in sanguine tuo sacro, redemptis sumus omnes, misericordia infinita, gloria tua mane. Agnus Dei dulcissime, custodi gregem tu, da nobis Cuius latus perforatum, unda fluxit sanguine, esto nobis pregustatum, in mortis examine. O Iesu, Iesu, dulcissime, o mori ineffabilis mise, rere nobis semper, et dona pace. In sacramento altaris te adoramus, Domine, corpus tuum sumimus, panem vitae, in unitate fidelium, Ecclesia sancta canit, laus resonet clara in aeternum gloria. Ave verum corpus sanctum, custodi nos semper ad vitam aeternam perduco nos Domine. Gloria Deo sit semper, cum Filio Redemptore, et Spiritus Sancto, in aeternum. Amen. Ave verum corpus natum, de Maria Virgine, vere passum immolatum, in cruce promine. O dulcis Iesu Domine, miserere nobis semper, da pacem animabus, et vitam aeternam. In altari sanctissimo, panis vitae datur, sacramentum magnum est, adora.
The power to be borderless with Momo. Send money abroad with Momo for a chance to win a fully paid trip around East Africa or even Dubai. Simply dial *165#, select Send Money, then choose option 2, Outside Uganda, and follow the simple steps to send money to Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, UK, India, China, Somalia, and Turkey. Guess what? You can also use the Momo app. Not only that, receive money from abroad the easy way for a chance to win shopping worth 200K. Simply ask the sender to use any of our authorized partners in countries like Saudi Arabia, UK, US, UAE, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and more.
Dominus pastor nostre est, nihil nobis terri, in pascivis virentibus, requiesit anima. Ad aquas quietas tu, revisit animam nostra, in semitis justitiae, ambulamus cum eo. Cantemus omnes fideles, laus resonet clara, in templo sancto, Dominus pastoros est. In valle remotis, non timebimus ma, virga tua confortat, spes nostra manet. Tu paras dimensam, in conspectu